Have you ever prayed so long that silence began to feel personal? Have you ever believed, quietly and without meaning to, that heaven was near for others, but somehow far for you? By the end of this ordinary morning, a woman named Alicia would begin to see that what she called distance had never truly been distance at all. Alicia sat alone at her kitchen table. Morning light stretched across the wood. Her coffee had gone cold.
I don't even know how to say it anymore. It's not that I've stopped believing. I've been knocking for so long and nothing opens.
She glanced toward the window. Birds moved through the oak tree outside.
I've prayed, I've asked, I've waited, and it still feels like God is out there somewhere. Like I'm trying to reach something I can't quite get to.
She pressed her palms lightly against the table.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe other people feel him because they know how, and I just don't. Or maybe there's something I'm still missing.
That afternoon, Alicia met her friend April at a quiet cafe near the park. The low hum of conversation settled around them.
You look tired. Have you been sleeping?
I'm okay, just thinking a lot, praying a lot.
That's a good thing though, right?
I thought so. But the more I try, the more it feels like I'm standing outside something that never opens.
Maybe you just need a breakthrough. Have you thought about going to that retreat up in the mountains? People say God's presence is really strong there, or even fasting for a few days. Sometimes that kind of thing shifts something.
I've tried that. I've tried pushing harder. I don't even know what else to do at this point.
Then maybe it's just not time yet. Maybe God's doing something you can't see, preparing you for something. And when it finally happens, it'll all make sense.
Alicia nodded, but the words didn't settle. They pressed in.
Don't give up, okay? The door will open. You just have to keep knocking.
Alicia managed a small smile, but something in her chest tightened. If the door was going to open, why did it still feel so far away? That evening, Alicia knelt beside her bed. The room was quiet. The curtains shifted softly in the breeze.
I'm going to try again. Really try this time.
She closed her eyes.
Please, I'm here. I've been here. If there's something I'm missing, show me. If there's a door I haven't found, lead me to it.
She waited. The silence stretched. A car passed outside. The clock on the wall kept ticking.
Why does it feel like I'm talking to nothing?
She opened her eyes. The room hadn't changed. The stillness was the same. And the ache in her chest was still there. The next morning, Alicia's uncle Matthew stopped by. He was a quiet man, thoughtful and unhurried. He had a way of listening that made the room feel slower.
You look like you're carrying something heavy.
I'm just tired.
Tired from what?
From trying, from praying, from reaching for something that doesn't reach back.
Matthew sat across from her and waited.
I've been faithful. I've been patient, but it feels like I've been standing at a door my whole life, and it never opens. Other people talk about God like he's close, like he's right there. For me, it's always somewhere else, somewhere I can't get to.
That sounds exhausting.
It is.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
When you pray, where do you imagine God is?
Alicia hesitated.
Out there. Beyond me. Above me. Somewhere I'm trying to reach.
And when you reach, what happens?
I stretch. I strain. I wait for something to meet me halfway. But it never does.
What if it already has?
I don't know what that means.
What if what you've been reaching for isn't far at all? What if the distance you feel isn't real?
That doesn't make sense. If God were close, I'd feel it. There'd be something. A sign, a warmth, anything.
Would there?
I don't know. I guess I've always thought presence would feel like something arriving. Like something finally coming toward me.
What if it doesn't arrive because it never left?
Alicia's hands stilled against the table.
There's a verse I come back to a lot. Luke 17:21. Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you."
I've heard that before, but I've never felt it. All I've ever felt is the reaching.
Maybe you've been looking outward for something that's been within you all along. Maybe what you've been calling silence was never absence at all.
That sounds nice, but how do I believe that when all I've known is this distance?
You don't have to make yourself believe anything. Just stop long enough to notice what's already here.
I have stopped. I've waited.
Have you been waiting while still reaching? Still trying? Still assuming you were outside something?
Alicia opened her mouth, then paused.
What if you were never outside the door at all?
That night, Alicia sat alone again. The house was quiet. Rain tapped softly against the window. The familiar ache returned, and with it, the old reflex.
I should try again. Maybe I just need to pray harder. Reach a little further.
Her hands started to lift, then paused.
What if I'm not outside anything? What if I never was?
She lowered her hands slowly. The rain kept falling. The room stayed still. And this time, she didn't reach. Alicia didn't move. She didn't speak. She let the silence be silence. She let her breath be breath. And in that stillness, something shifted.
I've been reaching so far outward. I never noticed what was already here.
Rain tapped softly against the glass. The room felt warm. Her hands rested open in her lap.
It wasn't distance. I just kept running past what was already present.
A tear slipped down her cheek, not from sadness, but from recognition.
You were never far. I just didn't know how to be still.
Nothing new had arrived. She had simply stopped long enough to notice. As Psalm 46:10 reminds us, "Be still and know that I am God." And as Luke 17:21 reveals, "The kingdom of God is within you." Alicia had spent years waiting for heaven to come closer, never realizing she had never been abandoned at all. What she called silence was not distance. It was presence, quietly waiting to be noticed. The door was never closed. If this spoke to something within you, take a moment, be still, and notice what's already here.